Trump goes to North Carolina and California. Hey, it's sort of like that book you read in high school, Tale of Two Cities. North Carolina welcomed President Trump warmly. They were facing threats of being homeless last week due to FEMA threatening to end temporary housing. He criticized the ineffectual and slow actions of FEMA. In fact, he even mentioned getting rid of FEMA since it has not been helping North Carolina. North Carolina, as you know, took the worst of Hurricane Helene, which marched up the East Coast months ago. He promised more help and quickly. He also mentioned sending the Army Corps of Engineers to get the roads and bridge reconstruction going. Folks, it's been a slow road over in Western North Carolina, and that shouldn't be happening to our American citizens. Trump then flew to California, where Governor Newsom met him as he landed. The story had been that Trump did not plan to meet with him. Not sure if that had been true. The death toll in California, sadly, has now reached 29. While the damage is likely to be as much as $200 billion, Trump's interaction with Mayor Karen Bass of Los Angeles was an interesting contrast of how to be a real president and how not to be a mayor of any city, much less a huge city. Trump demanded that California require ID to vote in order to get federal aid. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. I hold the mindless governors of California responsible for the damages and deaths in California. Decades of poor forest management and failure to address California's chronic water issues produced this result. Of course, an electorate stupid enough to elect Newsom, Bass, and now Schiff as senator has found out that elections have consequences. The tagline of one commentary I read caught my eye. The same politicians responsible for LA's destruction shouldn't be overseeing its rebuilding. Even though Bass has now promised to expedite permits and reduce red tape to help reconstruction, does any sensible person believe her? The other issue is the huge cost of building in California, and now it'll be even more expensive given the massive damage and needs. With famous actors with mansions competing for scarce resources, will the average person have a chance to rebuild anytime soon? All the rest of us can do is to hope things will turn out better in North Carolina and California, but each state needs to focus on using its own resources effectively. If there's a silver lining to the fires in California, as I've mentioned before, we are seeing Newsom's governorship go up in smoke, literally, which that will hopefully mean nobody will ever consider him as a presidential candidate. Not that I did before this tragedy, of course.